Like all children, I made drawings, but I forgot to stop. Most children stop when they're 8 or 10, and I went on. But at university, the subjects that I studied were politics and African history, colonial history, while still going to drawing lessons. And when I finished my humanities studies, I had a year in an art school. But at the same time, I had been doing theatre work with a student theatre group at the university, and thought I would do both. But I was given strong advice by friends and colleagues to say one needs to do one thing only, do it well. Either do drawing or do theatre, but don't think you can do both, which seemed like a very good idea. So I thought, well, if I have to choose, I will stop drawing. So I gave up, I closed my studio, sold the etching press, and went to study to become an actor in Paris. And it was very clear after 3 weeks of the theatre school that I was not an actor, and that I failed at acting. So I came back to South Africa and thought, well, I'm not an actor and I can't be an artist anymore, so maybe I have to become a filmmaker. And so I spent some years in the South African film industry in the design section, and that was such a terrible industry that I thought, okay, I have to do something different. So I'd failed it as an artist. I said to myself, I failed as an actor and I failed as a filmmaker. A good novelist is able to inhabit the psychic and imaginary spaces of all the characters in their novels. I'm not a novelist. So all the work in a way has to come out from me outward. So it's a very narrow, I'm very aware that it's quite a narrow starting viewpoint. But I don't think it's fair to attribute that to apartheid. That has to do with generosities of imagination and limits of imagination. I stick to the principle of working with charcoal and a movie camera, both to keep kind of the coherence. I haven't yet found, except with artificial means, of making digital video look like 35mm or even 16mm film. So there's both that. But there's also, as you described correctly, if you work digitally, you would have a monitor. So you're not just looking through the camera, you've got a clear view of what the camera is seeing. And you have the temptation and the possibility of seeing what you've drawn and going back and checking. And for me, that would keep on bringing a retro look back at what's been done. Whereas, as you say, with film, the pressure is to imagine what you've done and to think forward, to take on trust what's already gone into the body of the camera, which you can't see till it's processed. And no, okay, if you get it completely wrong, start again, or you have to refilm it. But essentially, it's a different kind of impulsive thinking.